times have definitely changed since the Delta Pro came out. Now the Anker SOLIX F3800 has now been released. This is coming in at a sale price of $3,000 with a 6,000 watt inverter versus 3,600 watts on the Delta Pro. Now there are times I have seen people trying to compare this with the Delta Pro Ultra, but you have to consider the price of $57.99 for a Delta Pro Ultra, with this one having a normal price of $3,500. That is over a $2,000 difference. When it comes to that, it's almost like comparing Honda's EU2200i with a EU3200i fuel injected model from Honda. So it's almost comparable that these guys are the ones who should be battling and not really the more expensive Delta Pro Ultra. So stick around for a few minutes. We're going to go over features and specs of this unit. We're going to do some testing, kind of give you some thoughts. I'll tell you everything it does, what it doesn't do, and then we'll see if it's right for you.
With the option to have 240 volt out, this makes it really easy to power up your home because you can simply use a generator inlet box. This is one of the cheapest ways to be able to power up your home by installing one of these, which is just a generator interlock, so you can't have your main on along with your backup power generator or power station. Another option is to get a critical loads panel with a transfer switch installed. This way you can assign the loads that you want into your home, and this is another great cheap option. If you want full automation, Anker SOLIX does have their smart home power kit. This allows you to have full automation so you don't have to switch anything. It does it all for you. You can have up to 2 power stations installed and have up to 12 circuits of your choice in your sub panel. That way you can run what's needed when the power does go out. The home power kit can also be AC coupled, and it'll come with transformers like these CT transformers, so it can detect how much solar is coming in even if you have your existing solar set up already. With the excess solar being produced, the Anker SOLIX F3800 will start to charge on its own by self-consumption mode. You can also take advantage of time of use mode and charge when the prices are low, and then utilize that power when the prices are high. And you can set it up for backup mode. That way when power does go out, it automatically switches on to power up your selected circuits. The Anker SOLIX F3800 could be expanded almost up to 5,400 kilowatt hours of energy by utilizing 2 of the power stations and 12 total batteries. This gives you enough power to actually charge up an EV with some decent range. But one of the things that really caught my eye was these sale prices for 2 power stations and the smart home panel, or the power station with 1 expansion battery. This is 7.7 kilowatt hours of energy, which is pretty darn cheap, at least from all the other research that I've done, considering if you still look at the Delta Pro, which is still a good unit, but this ranges from $2,799 up to $3,200 still, and doesn't have nearly the power or the features that the Anker does, so it now makes you consider other options. Now the Anker SOLIX does come with some DC options like a car socket, some USB-Cs, and A, which these all tested fine, but we're going to look at the other options.
Okay, we'll take a quick look at this side, and if you notice already, look how much ventilation there is on this thing. There are fans all over the place in here. There's fans on this side, 4 of them, and there's more on the other side, plus 2 right here. So this moves a lot of air, which also helps keep it really quiet. This here is where you're going to hook up your home panel kit. You also have your AC charging for 1,800 watts, and then you have dual solar charging, and this is going to be 1,200 watts each. As long as you have this upper voltage limit, this will allow you to pull in 25 amps almost on each one of these inputs. Now, something that was not available in a lot of earlier reviews, you could not AC charge and DC charge at the same time, but they just sent a brand new update, so now you can do both, and I'll show you. Okay, so you can see right there, we're AC charging at just over 1,000 watts. We're going to go ahead and plug in our solar panel. And now take a look. We now have both AC charging and DC charging. So this is actually pretty nice. So because to be able to do both is kind of optimal, especially if you want to quick charge this stuff. Now, when it does come to solar charging, if you look, there's these 2 different numbers right here. So if your solar panels are only putting out 11 to 32 volts, that means it's only going to be able to pull about 10 amps off of them. If you were over the 32 volt limit, then it'll start to be able to pull 25 amps depending on your solar panel setup. So Anker does have some solar panels that you can buy that are kind of already preset to go with this. It's kind of like when you use stuff from Apple. They already have everything that works with it. If you do your own solar panels, you will have to get a little bit creative to not go over this 60 volt limit, or else you can damage your controllers. Now on this side over here, you have your L1450, L1430, and then you have 6 20 amp plugs. Now you only get 20 amps out of this row and 20 amps out of that row for a total of 40 between the two. But when you do start charging this with, let's say, AC, and maybe you're charging it with a generator, this side is the only side that works. Everything else gets powered down, and you only get 1440 usable watts of power out of this when you are charging it with, say, either the wall, or if you're charging it with a generator, this is the only side that's going to work. I'll show you a little example. Now, one thing Anker did think about is that on your 50 amp outlets, you have the L1450 and your L1430. Now, if you wanted to, you could just press the button. This will turn on your inverter and activate everything. But if you notice right up here, we are not grounded. So if you wanted a bonded unit for certain applications, you do need this. Like, if say you were running an RV with a PMS on it or an onboard management system, you will need this to be bonded. One thing you can do is turn this off. That'll shut everything down, but if you double tap it, this will turn on the inverter and actually bond it. So now you can see this goes from red to white, meaning this is bonded, and this is just kicked on and now allowing power through it. This is basically a small surge protector and also emergency power shutoff. So I'm going to plug this in real quick just so you guys can see. And now as we're looking over here, I just plugged it in. Now watch what happens. So this shuts off, your 240 goes away, UPS stays on at 1440 watts only on that side. If you come over here, this row is out. So just so you know, if you're using this as a standalone unit, this is kind of what's going to happen. But if you use this with the home panel, basically you still get the full power out of this. So it makes a good system when you have everything kind of combined. Okay, now Anker did send one of their 400 watt panels out here to test as well. Now I have this about as flat as I can get it, and I have this at pretty much an optimal condition, but you can see that that middle panel, because there's only 3 kickstands, it probably would have been better if they just had 4 all the way across, 1 for each panel. That way this one wouldn't dip. I tried to kind of drag it out, that way it would stay as flat as possible, but if you take a look, right now we are pretty much at optimal when it comes to the amount of watts we were getting per square meter. So this little guy kind of helps you see where your best lighting is, and you want over 1,000 watts meter square when you're testing your panels, and it should be about 77 degrees is what they would call it for STC conditions. So right now, being that the sun is pretty much optimal and our temperature is also right around that, about 72, 73 degrees right now, we should be getting, you know, pretty much max for this panel. So let's see what it's doing. So as we take a look, getting about 320 watts out of this 400 watt panel. Now again, with the conditions and no obstructions, as you can see there's nothing obstructed by it, and it's pretty much under optimal conditions right now. I wouldn't have mind seeing this a little bit higher. 340 watts would probably be about a minimum. It's not bad. I mean, it's 320, but still, for a 400 watt panel, we probably should have seen something a little bit higher. I am using all of their attachments as far as their cables and cords. So this is pretty much what we get when we utilize everything from them. Okay, just to show you guys something different, this is a couple residential panels, and you can buy these really cheap now. I'll even leave a link down in the description below, because you can start picking these up for about $100 used each and like 130 new. But if I was to put both of these into series at 40 volts each, that's what both of these are with an open circuit voltage, I would be over that limit of what the Anker can handle. So what you have to do is you end up having to use parallel connectors like this, which this will double your amperage. As you can see, I already have it hooked up, which this only takes a couple seconds. It's really easy. And I don't know if you can see that because it is really blurry, but that's showing 548 watts roughly and about 37 volts. So if we get right up on there. And so now when we look at our Anker here, you can see we're already getting 500 watts out of this or more depending. Because I just kind of threw them out there. They're not really even at optimal angle. I mean, they're close, but they're just sitting on some sawhorses and that's it. And anybody can do that setup. But this just shows you a much cheaper option than versus buying like the Anker panel. The Anker panel is nice so if you want something really easy and portable, versus those are pretty heavy to maneuver, and not to mention they're twice the size. If you take a look at the Anker panel, I mean, look how small it is when it's folded up. It takes a second or two to set it up, but a lot easier to store for sure. Now, I wanted to show you guys some of the loads that I've been doing on this thing. I've been beating this thing up pretty good over the last couple weeks. And you can see right now we're running a 4,300 watt load, and that obviously is coming from that guy right there. So I'll show you what it is. But we'll take a look at the pure sine wave real quick, and so far doing very well. I've been watching this back and forth. Very small dips as far as when the AC units kick on and off. So it's performing really well so far. So I'm also charging up a battery bank inside my RV here, and you can see about 1.8, a good 1,800 watts coming in right now from that. I also have the main AC unit running inside of my RV, which this is a 15K AC unit, and I do have soft starts on both of these because primarily I am running battery systems, so I'm trying to make sure I don't put too much stress on the inverters. And I'm also running the 13.5 AC unit right up here. This does have a soft start on it as well. Now, when it comes to the Anker, I mean, so far this thing is able to put out everything that it's been rated at. As far as its 6,000 watt inverter, it has no problems doing that. This has been running for several minutes. I've done this test already several times just to let it run until almost dead. And this thing is also really quiet. I mean, I don't know if you guys can hear this, but listen. There is noise coming out of there, I mean, but it is super quiet. There's a lot of fans on this, which definitely helps keep it cool. It's about 71 degrees outside roughly right now, but so far I'm not really having any issues with this as far as its performance. The performance is actually really good so far. The only thing I wouldn't mind seeing differently is better performance out of their panels, and also, you know, the voltage limit for the solar input. That would be something that would be a little bit ideal if it was at least 100 volts. Your options would definitely open up a lot if you were at a higher voltage. Not that you can't make this work, you just have to get a little bit more creative when you're hooking up your solar panels, because you're going to do only a few in series and then you're going to be paralleling a lot more things in. So I wanted to give you guys some final thoughts on the Anker SOLIX F3800, because after playing with this for a few days, as far as its efficiency, it came out to 85% efficient when doing like C-rate testing, right? And then also, if you look at Anker as a whole, like as their company, go online, do a search. They actually get really, really good reviews. If you guys are looking for used solar panels or even new solar panels, I will leave some links of those down below in the description if you're looking for some of those. You can also buy the Anker ones if you want. And again, with the prices that this Anker SOLIX F3800 is, it's not a bad option if you're looking for a lot of kilowatt hours, something that is pretty simple to install. I will have links down below of this, that way you can pick it up. So, and again, sales come and go, so make sure you watch the pricing, because this stuff is on sale all the time. You'll see the prices go up and down, doesn't matter the brand, so just make sure to pay attention for those, that way you can pick up the best deal. Hope you guys liked the video, hope to see you in the next one.